20% of our primary care doctors are non-Banner doctors. And we also have value-based care doctors. Are you guys familiar with value-based care? Okay. For those of you who are new, value-based care, like Archwell, Centerwell, Oak Street, Village MD, they're called value-based care. They get paid differently. They don't get paid fee for service. So everybody else gets paid fee for service, meaning everything they have done, they get paid, right? If they have a test or this or that. Value-based care, they get one flat rate from the insurance company, and they're incentivized to keep the member healthy. So if they keep them out of the hospital, they get a bonus. If they keep the A1C levels down, they get a bonus. If they keep their blood pressure down, there's all these stats, right? So value-based care doctors are paid to keep the member healthy. So we do have in our network Centerwell, we have Oak Street, and Village MD as far as value-based care. So that's another option for you guys. Any questions on that? Okay. And the Banner primary care docs are paid on the value-based care model, and our ER docs are paid on the value-based care model. We're working on eventually getting all the doctors paid that way, but it's hard. You got to do it slowly because they don't like the change. So Banner has a D-SNP plan. These were in more counties on our D-SNP because Banner, I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a Medicaid plan. So for people that are on Medicaid prior to Medicare, we have Banner Family University. That's a Medicaid plan. We've had that contract forever since, I can't even remember when, 2007. So we've been in the Medicaid business forever. Then we have the D-SNP plan. That's been around since 2014. So it's in more counties because it's been around longer. So again, these dual members are allowed to cross county lines to see a doctor. The networks are much larger because we're required by Medicaid to have a larger network. So they even have more doctors than our regular HMO plan. Okay, so it's a much larger network. We know that we're not as strong as United. They have the big food card and WellCare, but the word on the street again, and nothing is set in stone, but have you guys heard they're looking at getting rid of that VBID benefit? So the VBID benefit is the money for the food and the utilities, and we're hearing that Medicare is chopping that and they're not going to pay for that anymore. So I'm hearing some of the carriers are going to reduce that food benefit and stuff. So we're hoping that'll bring us more in line because I'll go over our food benefit here. Real quick, I'll just start on the vision coverage. I just want to point out real quick, our vendor for both our regular HMO and our D-SNP is VSP for vision, VSP, which is a very nice network. What I love about our vision coverage with that $200 allowance, most of the carriers, that money has to be split between the lenses and the frames, right? With us, they get the $200 just for frames. So if they want to buy a fancy pair of Ray-Ban or whatever brand frames, they can do that. The lenses are no charge on our plan. But keep in mind, they get the standard lens or standard progressive lens for no cost. To get a standard progressive lens for no cost is really good, but they don't get the fancy progressive lens. I don't know what the name of that is, but they do get regular lenses and standard progressive for no cost. If they want extras like scratch resistant coating, tinting, transitional lens, those are extra. If they go to a preferred provider with VSP, they'll get 20 to 25% off those extra. If they go to a non-preferred, they won't get that. So for example, Walmart, Costco, and Sam's Club are in our VSP network, but they don't participate in that discount. And we know a lot of members go to Walmart or Costco right for their glasses. So one of my agents called me the other day and they were complaining because their member went to Walmart. They didn't get the discount. So keep in mind, tell your members, they don't get it with Walmart, Sam's Club, and Costco, the discount. They have to use the preferred providers, and it'll show you that. I'll show you at the end in the directory. Our hearing benefit is really strong compared to the other carriers. So if you have someone that really needs hearing aids or they need the really fancy, expensive brands, we give $3,300. Let's see, dental is $4,000. Go ahead.
You get it every year.
Yes, every year on our plan.
And that's for two.
For two, what do you mean?
2 hearing aids.
For two, yes, for two. Yeah, it's not per aid, it's for 2 hearing aids. So that $3,000 has to pay for 2.
And then also, so they get, and they say the useful benefits and they get the 2 hearing aids. When can they?
Next plan year, so in January.
1 year, not what 5-year rate, could you benefit, or 3 years, like some of the other plans?
Yep, some of the other plans, they have those limitations. We don't, so our hearing coverage is real strong. Yeah, on the dual plan. Yep, on the dual plan. Our regular plan is only $1,000 for hearing aids. Yeah, but that was a very good question. Our dental is pretty comparable to the other carriers for D-SNP. We have $4,000 for dental. The vendor we use is Dental Quest, and I'll show you that at the end. The dental, like most carriers, it does have limitations. So it's really important to point out to your member when you're doing the summary of benefits, right? We give 2 exams and 2 cleanings a year for no cost. If your member goes in for a 3rd exam, it's not going to be covered. They're going to get a bill in the mail and they're going to be mad. Bless you. But a lot of agents don't tell them about the limitations. They call and they're angry. I get those calls because they went in for the 3rd exam and it's not covered, right? So just to keep your members happy with you, to keep them happy with Banner, make sure you tell them about those limitations on the, they do have, for example, on the dental, they have, for example, I'm going to make it up. I'm going by heart, but I think it's 1 crown per tooth for 5 years, right? So say they get a crown and 2 years later, they need a new crown on that tooth. They can't get it on that tooth because it grows year to year. I mean, yeah, so just keep that in mind. But that's pretty, every plan has those limitations. We don't cover implants this year. I'm so sad because we did last year, but no implants. Because as you know, those were utilized quite a bit. Here's our food benefit right now. I know we don't have as strong as everybody else, but I think we're going to be more in line with everybody else next year. But it's $60 for food every quarter with rollover.